Hi, and welcome to the 2017 General Legislative Session. I am Senator Jake Anderegg, and I'm coming to you to talk to you about Senate Bill 114. Now, this is the election law amendments bill being run by Senator Kurt Bramble. There's actually much to do about what happened in Utah County regarding this bill. The Utah County Republican Party actually shot out an email suggesting that this bill was being fast-tracked through the process. Here's a little background. You'll all remember Senate Bill 54, the so-called Count My Vote bill. That bill created an alternative path to the ballot. But in doing so, where you would circumvent the convention or the caucus process, it created a problem with plurality. And that means basically that you have two or more people on the primary ballot who don't get over 50% of the vote. So it would require a runoff if we had that type of situation. The state party, filed a lawsuit to kind of fight against SB 54. And after fighting the lawsuit and realizing that it was going to be an uphill battle, that every single court hearing had actually overturned or rejected the party's lawsuit complaint, they decided that this probably wasn't the best way to go. They worked with Senator Bramble to come up with Senate Bill 114. Senate Bill 114 actually addresses the plurality issue. It actually looks at what do you do to create this runoff process. Now, the bill itself does have some problems with it. It does require that sometime in August we will have a runoff if we don't have a clear 50% or more winner in the primary. But with that, there's a federal requirement that says you have 45 days from whenever you're going to hold an election to actually print ballots and get things put together. So you started from the last time you can actually hold a runoff election, which I believe is the first or second week in August. You run backward from that to the primary in June, backward from that to the caucus conventions, and it pushes back the filing deadline for filing for candidacy from just after the legislative session in March to now 2 or 3 weeks before the legislative session in January. The concern is that this movement of this date actually favors the incumbent. I totally get that. That's a legitimate potential concern. The problem is that the Utah County Republican Party threw out there that we were fast-tracking this bill and this was SB 54 all over again, and nothing is further from the truth. It went through a Senate hearing in committee on the 30th of January. On February 2nd, it went through a second reading calendar on the Senate floor. And February 3rd, it passed the third reading calendar on the Senate floor and then went over to the House. That Friday of that week, the Utah County Republican Party shot an email out and basically said, urgent action needed. This is being fast-tracked. Call your representatives and tell them not to fast-track it. But the House sponsor was out of town that day, and this was certainly not being fast-tracked. It was going to go through a hearing. It was going to go onto the floor. It was going to go through the normal process. So the problem is that there was some misinformation with regard to this bill. I actually support the bill. Even though I ran the bill, House Bill 61, back in 2015 to repeal Senate Bill 54, there was not the political will to move on that. Both House and Senate leadership pushed back on that. So I couldn't get the bill out of committee. I couldn't get it out of rules. So because there's not the political will to roll back SB 54 and we have the plurality issue, what do? Do we just not do anything? Or do we act in order to make sure that there's a runoff provision in order to make sure the party can still determine who its nominee is going to be? That's why I supported the bill. That's why I continue to support the bill. Not that I love it or that it's being forced upon us as a result of SB 54, but because it's the right thing to do for the party at this time. If we can roll back SB 54, then I would be more than happy to get rid of it. Anyhow, I just wanted you to be aware because some information was shot out by the Utah County Republican Party that just simply wasn't accurate. And I wanted you to hear it from me that this was the process. We're going to honor the process, and nothing is going to be pushed through without the proper process being adhered to. Anyhow, let me know if you have any questions or concerns. I'm certainly open to having any discussion. Email me, call me. I look forward to working with you. And as ever, let me know what's going on so I can address whatever issues you have happening in your life with your family. I look forward to serving you. Thank you very much and have a great day.